I'm working with frozen chicken today, so what I'm gonna do, I guess, is just get some onions, carrots, and some chicken bouillon with some water started so that those carrots can get busy getting cooked. Then I'll add the chicken once it's thawed out enough to get it out of the package. Okay, there's a family size package of boneless, skinless chicken thighs in the crock pot now. We're just gonna forget about it for a while. I've added some garlic powder and some sage. Just a little bit. I'm just going to move those chicken pieces around so everything's mixed in really good. Okay, so my crock pot turned itself down to keep warm. We were at a baseball game for two of the grandsons, and now it's kind of super late, but I am turning my crock pot back up on high so that I can get the dumplings added, and I'm just going to use some canned biscuits to make those dumplings. And first I'm just going to break up all of this chicken meat to small pieces and then just drop those right in and get our dumplings cooked up. I am hungry. And I'm just using these Jumbo Great Value brand biscuits. I still have a piece of onion sitting back there. I'm just going to cut them into quarters and then just drop them right into that broth. Okay, I have all of my dough pieces in the crock pot, and I'm just going to close the lid and let this come up to heat. Ideally on the stovetop, I would be dropping these into boiling broth, but it's obviously not boiling. It is very, very hot, but we're going to stir it in and hope for the best. Hopefully these don't just turn into big dough balls, but honestly, if they do, I'm still going to eat them because I'm starving. But it's very difficult to mess up your dumplings if you use canned biscuits. Trust me, I've tried. This is one of those meals where dinners become a little bit repetitive. Still have cabbage in my fridge. So this is the last of it. I'm just getting it fried up with some smoked sausage, a little bit of olive oil in there, and some Slap Ya Mama seasoning. Just using what I have until it's gone. I don't want to waste any food. So, cabbage, cabbage, cabbage. For dinner, I've been behind the scene chopping up some potatoes and some onions. Just getting them started in a cast iron skillet. I have a helper or two in the kitchen today. What are we making? Potatoes? What was the problem we were having with all our potatoes today, Bo? They were green, weren't they? Joey? All right, we're just going to let those cook. We'll stir them in a few minutes.
Put some bananas.
Oh, we're putting bananas in our peppers? I don't think so.
Send a banana.
And then I call them peppers when they're clearly potatoes. All right, back a little bit. There we go. Bo just wanted to show the green that was inside the potato. But we are doing pretty good now. Okay, Bill came home and did the steaks on the grill, so I forgot to get footage. We were just outside with the kids. Didn't think to film it, but we have fried potatoes with onions, green beans, and delicious looking steak. That's what's for dinner today. I was in such a hurry to get home with this pizza for dinner today, and then I totally forgot to get any video before everyone started digging in. Look, it's burnt, but we like burnt food, so it's exactly the way we would want it. Lucky for them, I guess. We got barbecue chicken, pizza on half, pepperoni on the other, and then a meat lovers. Just making sure that all these burger patties are about the same size. I have a bad habit of making them way too thick. I don't know, I guess that's not always a bad thing. Next, I'm going to get these seasoned up with a little bit of salt, pepper, and garlic. This is a super easy dinner. We're just going to have some chips and some pickles. Maybe some cut up tomatoes from the garden. Call it an easy dinner. Season this side, and when I flip them, I'll do the other side.
Was there a bread shortage?
I don't know if it's just Dollar General or...
I didn't have none either, baby.
Oh boy. Just stacked up. That's it. That's dinner. Today was such a busy day, but I am back home. I was at a football game for one of my grandsons earlier, and now I am home and I'm thinking about what's for dinner, but I need some tomatoes. Oh, we've got one that's no good. We'll see if the chickens want it. This one either. And I was hoping I would find some jalapenos still out here. Looks like I have a couple on this plant. Oh, everything smells so good. I love the smell of tomatoes on the vine. Hello, Miss Honey. How are you? Hello, Cedar. Hello, Jelly Beans. Are you coming to say hi? Hello. It's funny because they usually are more social with me when I'm behind the fence. So funny. Shall we check the coop? Let me turn some of your decorations around. Hi, girls. Ooh, and I see a nice ripe tomato in there. Now, that is fresh. Bye, girls. I'll be back. One day we'll have fresh eggs out here, too. I'm going to start off by heating up some avocado oil and add that to my grocery list because that's the end of it. Oh, I can't keep up. I'm always running out of something. I just ordered groceries today, but did not realize I was that low. Next, I'm just throwing in a whole chopped up onion. Give that onion some time to cook all by itself before I start adding everything else. Next, I'm adding that jalapeno that I just picked out of the garden. I'm putting the seeds and everything right in there because if it's hot at all, we want the heat. But I don't think our jalapenos were very spicy hot this year. Wow, there is a smell coming off of that. I think I will add some garlic powder now. And let's get some salt in there. And some black pepper. I'm also going to do a little cayenne pepper. A little bit of chili powder. Be careful, don't inhale the spices or the fumes from those jalapenos. And now I'm going to add that chopped up tomato. And I don't mind the skins or the seeds, so I'm just chopping them up and dishing them in there. I just love tomatoes. Anyway, you slice them or dice them. I feel like it needs more pepper, so I'm just going to do a can of diced green chilies. They're not very spicy, but they do add lots of flavor. Next, I'm adding some Knorr chicken bouillon powder. I don't ever measure. I just usually use about half of the green capful. If I'm using it for like a whole pot of soup. Just gonna mix that in there. I'm adding a jar of Great Northern beans. This is the 48-ounce size. I did drain as much of the liquid off as I could. There will still be some in there. That's okay. It's just a lot of starch. And while I don't mind some, I don't want a whole jar full of it. But some of that bean starch is going to help with thickening up this chili. And I am just filling up that jar with some water right now. We're going to add that right into the pot as well. And this is a whole jar of water. I'm going to let that simmer for a bit while I get my 2 packages of andouille sausage chopped up into bite-sized pieces. Now that I have my sausage all cut up into little circles, I'm just going to add it in very slowly just so I'm not splashing. There goes one for Buddy. He is waiting for me to drop some, and that would probably be the 3rd one that I dropped behind the scenes here. Of course, there is a recipe that caught my eye on Pinterest, but I don't even know if I'm making this anywhere close to the recipe because I didn't read it. Sometimes a picture of a dish just inspires me, and then I just do it my own way because I tend to do things the quick and easy way. So, that looks so good, and it smells delicious. I'm so excited about this. But I'm thinking it's a little too watery and that I need to add another can of beans. So I'm probably going to put some light red kidney beans in there as well. And in a minute, I'm going to make some jiffy cornbread. I have my oven already heated, and that's going to be dinner. This Cajun chili and cornbread. We're just going to let that simmer for a while, and it should be good to go. Yep, I'm thinking that extra can of beans was a good choice. Well, that is life for me these days with this. For these 2 boxes of Jiffy Mix, it calls for an egg for each box, but I'm using 3 because my husband bought these little small eggs, and it will not hurt a thing to add an extra. I'm just going to break up these yolks, get them mixed up a little bit. This fork, I was using it for something else, so I'm going to keep on using it, and it is my favorite whisking utensil. I cannot use a whisk to save my life. Two-thirds cup of milk. I've got my baking dish already prepared. I'm just going to pour the Jiffy Mix into the pan. And I do have the ingredients to make from scratch cornbread that's not sweetened, but I thought that this sweet flavor of the Jiffy cornbread would go really well with that spicy chili. Next, I'm going to work on just kind of creating a creamier texture to this chili. I have a half a block of cream cheese that I'm going to add and let that melt and just keep stirring as it warms up. And I'm measuring about a cup of cheese, shredded cheese with my hand. I may add more, but for now, I'm going to see where this takes us. Just kind of break that sour cream. What is it? Cream cheese. Just gonna break it up as I stir it and get it all mixed in there. Well, this feels like the perfect fall food for a day that feels a lot like fall, even though we still have a couple of weeks until the official first day of fall. But it's a good start. Well, I have made a huge mess on my stove. That's something you won't see on other channels, but it's real life. I finally cleaned the dirty pan from breakfast that was circulating around the kitchen earlier and sitting on the back of the stove and some of the shots. Oh well, like I said, it is a real life kind of day. And our cornbread is done, and I am just taking this stick of butter and just spreading it all over the top. Wow, that smells good. It smells so good. Look, the smell of corn, cornbread, and butter. Melty butter. Smells good. Well, I might have to have a piece of this before it cools down. So you will sometimes hear me say that I don't like recipes with cream cheese in them, and this is kind of why. I mean, I have been cooking and stirring, and the cream cheese was kind of room temperature when I put it into the pot of soup. I'm not sure why it is being so stubborn about melting, but it's kind of mixing in now. It's just have to get in there and do it individually. And that's kind of a pain. But anyway, this is the last video of the week, and I thank you all for coming by for another week of What's for Dinner at our house. And I hope to see you again in the next one. Bye for now.